Thank you so much for coming. Like she said, I'm from Augusta, Georgia. We and Dr. Blaney, we both own a bariatric practice over there. We are extending our practice to Dublin, and our intention for today is to give you information about bariatric surgery to see if it's something that you want to pursue. We're going to talk about all the good things that bariatric surgery can do for you, and we're also going to talk about some basics of dieting and eating and different things, okay? Feel free to ask me any questions at any time. Just stop me, and I'll try to answer the best of my knowledge, okay? Thank you. So if we're going to talk about weight gain and weight loss, we got to talk about calories, right? So who can tell me what calories are? Anybody, any idea? Nobody? Because everybody says there are good calories, there are bad calories, you shouldn't eat calories, right? But what is the actual definition of calories? What?
Bad content.
Bad content? Calories is energy. It's nothing but energy. So anything that is natural that we put in our mouth contains energy. That is the energy that our body will use to be able to move around and to perform activities throughout the day. The way our body functions is the calories that we eat, meaning the energy that we eat, minus the energy that we use, is going to create weight change. Meaning, if I eat a lot of energy, I use little energy, I'm going to gain weight. Okay? If we talk about numbers, if you eat 1,500 calories and you only use 500 calories, your body has 1,000 calories that is going to have to do something with, or is going to go and be changed into fat and make us gain weight, right? So the excess energy that we eat is not so much of a problem on the fat that gets stored under the skin, which could be a cosmetic problem. The fat that gets stored inside our body is the one that is going to give us trouble in the future. What places will get stored? It's going to be inside the liver. It's going to be around the heart. It's going to be around the intestines. It's going to be inside our blood as cholesterol. If we get all that fat, at the end we're going to have problems with fatty liver, heart attacks, high blood pressure, and strokes, right? So the way our body uses the energy, there are two main ways. One is called our metabolism. So who can tell me what metabolism is? Anybody?
The way that your body burns off the fat.
The way that your body uses the fat? It's actually the way your body will use the energy. So to give an idea, our metabolism is the amount of energy, not the speed, but the amount of energy that our body will use to keep us alive. To make it a little bit more simple, if you get your car in the morning, you put it on the driveway and you turn it on, and you don't move it all day long, is your car going to use gas to stay on? Yes, it will, because you got to keep the engine running, right? Same thing our body. If we wake up in the morning, we do nothing all day long, our body will still use energy to keep our heart pumping, brain working, keep us breathing, and so on, okay? So our metabolism is the amount of energy that our body will use to keep us alive, okay? The other way that our body uses energy is through activities. Coming here to the seminar, driving, laundry, mail, work, gym, any other activity that we do will help us use energy, okay? Which one would you guess is more important to help you maintain weight or lose weight? Activities that you do or your own metabolism?
Metabolism.
Your metabolism. So let me give you an example. If I eat 1,500 calories in a day, and my metabolism is really good and I use 1,500 calories in a day, any activity that I do throughout the day is going to help me lose weight, right? But what if my metabolism is not good and I only use 500 calories in a day? Then I have 1,000 calories at the end of the day that I need to do either exercise or some kind of activity to use it, right? So is it easy or difficult to use 1,000 calories in energy? Difficult? So let's say I'm going to run, right? Have you all been on a treadmill before? On the treadmill, the number that you push up and goes up in speed. If you put that number all the way up to 6, how many miles will you guess you need to run to be able to use 1,000 calories? Any ideas? It's about 10 miles. About 10 miles. So the average person will use about 100 calories per mile. So if you have 1,000 calories that you need to use, you will need to run 10 miles to be able to compensate the metabolism that you don't have, right? So metabolism is extremely important to help you use the energy that you eat and help you lose weight and maintain a low weight, okay? The other important thing that I want you to get a message out of these slides is that you will never be able to outwork a poor diet. What does it mean? It means that you can always eat more than the energy that you can use, right? If you go to McDonald's and you have a Big Mac meal for lunch, how many calories are in there? It ranges between 1,100 calories to 1,300 calories, right? So how long will it take me to eat that? 15 minutes? If I'm hungry, maybe 5, right? And I just ate around 1,100 calories. How many miles will I need to run to be able to use that energy? About 11 miles, right? So it's a lot easier to eat the energy than to get rid of the energy, right? Right. So 2 messages out of this. Number 1, your metabolism is extremely important on helping you lose weight and maintain a low weight. And number 2, you will never be able to outwork a poor diet, okay? Now, when we want to lose weight, we tend to do diets, right? So what do we consider a diet? Eating little?
A certain amount of calories.
Yeah, certain amount of calories. So what are we doing? Cutting the amount of energy that we're eating, and along with cutting the amount of energy, we have to also cut the amount of food, right? Because you cannot eat a large amount of food and still keep a very low amount of energy that we're eating, or very low amount of calories. Now, are diets good to help you lose weight? They're good to help you lose it, but not maintain it, right?
Right.
So what happens when you do a diet? You do a diet for a week, and what happened? A lot of weight comes off, right? Some of it is water weight, some of it is actual weight. What happened in week number 2?
You start eating.
Well, let's say you maintain the diet, right? If you manage to maintain a diet, week number 2, you will lose some weight, but not as much as you did in week 1, right? Week number 3, even less. But week number 4, most people don't lose any weight. So what happened? You're having headaches every day. You're frustrated. You want to kill everybody around you, right? Everybody around you wants to kill you, right? And what do? You eat, right? How fast will you regain the weight? Really fast. And that's what we call the yo-yo effect, right? You lose weight and then you gain it. Why do you regain weight so fast after you do a diet? It's because our body was not designed to lose weight. Our body was designed to gain it. Our body was designed to survive. So when you do a diet, you think, okay, I need to lose a few pounds, so I'm not going to eat as much, right? How is your body perceiving the diet? As a starvation. So your body feels like this is the end of the world. There is no food out there. I'm going to die. So I'd rather do something not to die so I can quit losing weight. What is the only thing that your body can manipulate and shut it down so you quit losing weight? Is your metabolism, right? So if you're eating very little, your metabolism is going to go down to almost match the amount of food that you're eating. And at that point, you will quit losing weight. So if your metabolism becomes very low, and then all of a sudden you start eating a lot, that's why your weight comes back that fast, okay? Now the question is, can we manipulate our metabolism? Can we make our metabolism better? Yes, we can, but it's not easy to do so, okay? You can click. So I want to also talk to you about what bariatric surgery can do for you that diet and exercise alone can't. So bariatric surgery can change the way your body functions. So number 1, bariatric surgery can give you the ability to eat very little. The average patient will be able to eat between half a cup of food to a full cup of food at a time. Okay? So as you can tell, it's very little amount of food, but the feeling that you're going to have is like you ate a 16-ounce steak. So you're going to have the satisfaction and the fullness of food, but without the amount of calories that we regularly eat. But more important than that, bariatric surgery can change the way your body functions as well. So it's going to change substances in your body that control, number 1, your blood sugars. So if you have diabetes type 2, you can expect to be cured from diabetes after bariatric surgery. So what happened is, I'm diabetic today, diabetes type 2. I have bariatric surgery today. I'm diabetes free tomorrow. 8 out of 10 people will get diabetes cure overnight with bariatric surgery. Also changes the substances that control your blood pressure. Between 3 to 6 months after surgery, about 7 out of 10 people are going to not need blood pressure medications to control blood pressure. 6 out of 10 people with cholesterol problems. 7 out of 10 people with sleep apnea. But beyond that, bariatric surgery will change also the way your metabolism works. So if you've been dieting all the time, or you've been playing the yo-yo effect, lose weight, gain weight, lose weight, gain weight, and your metabolism is very low, bariatric surgery is going to make it very high. If you have a very high metabolism with the ability to eat very little, it's going to create something that we call a honeymoon period, which is a period between 9 months to a year where you're going to lose weight no matter what you do. Okay? So what's going to happen after 9 months to a year when this honeymoon period is over? Is your brain is going to learn what happened down here. And then your brain is going to say, I had a sleeve, I had a bypass. And your brain is going to start changing things to adjust them to make it normal again. So at that point, you've lost a tremendous amount of weight. So you're eating right and exercising, and that's going to help you maintain a low weight. Because bariatric surgery without a lifestyle change is going to only take you to regain the weight. Okay? Can I guarantee that you're going to lose weight with bariatric surgery? Absolutely yes. That's why we call it weight loss surgery. It's designed to make you lose weight. Whether you get to keep it off long term is dependent on your ability to change your lifestyle. Start eating right and start exercising. Okay? So who qualifies for bariatric surgery? We use a thing called a body mass index. So what we do is we get your weight and we divide it by your height. If the number that comes out of that calculation is between 35 and 40, you have to have 2 other different diseases to help you qualify. If the number that comes out of the calculation is more than 40, then the number alone will help you qualify for surgery. Okay? Other things that we look at for you to be able to qualify is you got to be healthy enough to undergo surgery. So we got to make sure that heart, lungs, and everything is working okay. We also want to make sure that you understand what the surgery is about, what are the risks and what are the complications. Some insurances will ask you to have a diet plan before we do the surgery, meaning medical weight loss. But the most important thing that we take into account is you being willing to change your lifestyle, you wanting to change things. Again, bariatric surgery will get all the weight out of you, will make you lose a tremendous amount of weight. But again, your ability to keep it off is going to be dependent on your ability to change your lifestyle. Okay?
Portions of this program are brought to you in part by Fairview Park Hospital, a leader in healthcare for Dublin, Lawrence, and surrounding communities, providing community healthcare services including 24-hour emergency room.
Okay. Now we're going to talk a little bit about the actual surgeries themselves. So the 3 most popular surgeries out there is number 1 is called the lap band. Who's heard about the lap band before? Everybody, right? So I want to give you news on this one. The lap band is not a weight loss surgery. The lap band is an appetite control surgery. What does it mean? It's a plastic ring that goes on top of your stomach and creates pressure on your stomach, sending signals to your brain saying, I am full. How are you going to lose weight when you have a lap band? Diet and exercise, and then weight loss. Okay? So the lap band, again, is not a weight loss surgery. It's an appetite control surgery. Okay? On the other hand, the sleeve gastrectomy and the gastric bypass, both are considered weight loss surgeries. Why? Because they carry something that we call a hormonal effect. And that is what we were talking about a minute ago. All the substances that change in your body that give you diabetes cure, blood pressure cure, sleep apnea cure, and also give you the ability to have a very high metabolism, making you lose weight and giving you the honeymoon period. Okay? Anybody, any questions so far? Am I going too fast? We're good? Okay. So how are the surgeries done? In the past, we used to cut people open. So people had to cut pretty much from the belly button all the way up to the chest. What was the problem of that? Big cuts, lots of pain. People remain in the hospital for a long time. Lots of infections, lots of hernias. Now we do the surgery with a technique called laparoscopy. So as you see in the picture, we have little tubes that we put inside your belly, and we use those tubes to access the inside of the belly to be able to do the surgery. Okay? So we don't cut people open anymore. When we do the surgery this way, the patients recover much faster. About 95% of the patients will go home the next day. I have surgery today, I feel good enough to go home tomorrow. Okay? Now, can you get an infection in a cut about that big?
Yes.
Yes, you can, but chances are you won't. Can you get a hernia in a cut about that big? Yes, but chances are you won't. So since we started doing this surgery laparoscopic, the risk of the surgery, as well as the recovery of the surgery, is much better. Okay? Okay, so like we talk about the gastric banding, as you can see in the picture, it's a plastic ring that goes on top of your stomach. The initial effect that will give you is that will divide your stomach kind of like an hourglass. A very little stomach on the top and a big stomach on the bottom, okay? The band has a plastic balloon on the inside that allow us to regulate the amount of pressure that the band will create on your stomach. The more pressure, the less appetite that you have, okay? So what happens is that when you eat, the food will sit on top of the band, giving you the sensation of fullness, and then it's slowly going to trickle down to the bottom, allowing you to eat some more, okay? Again, the band is an appetite control surgery, not a weight loss surgery. All right, sleeve gastrectomy. So the sleeve gastrectomy is a procedure in which we change the size and the shape of the stomach, but we do not change the path of the food. Okay? So normally the food that you eat will go into your esophagus, then to your stomach, and then to the small intestine. Okay? When we do a sleeve gastrectomy, what we're doing is we're taking out about 80% of the stomach. We actually have a sizer, and we use the sizer when we're doing the surgery, meaning that one size fits all. Okay? So once we cut that piece of the stomach, we cannot leave it inside your body, so we have to take it outside. What does it mean is once it's outside, we're not going to be able to put it back in, which means that the surgery is irreversible. Okay? Very powerful surgery. This is a weight loss surgery. What does it mean? You're going to lose about 60 to 65% of your excess weight. Okay? I am 5'7", so my ideal body weight is around 160 pounds. If my actual weight is 260 pounds, I need to lose 100 pounds to get back to my normal weight, right? If I have a sleeve, between 60 and 60 pounds will come off just by having the surgery done, okay? Now, because I'm eating very little, it gives me a little bit of a risk of malnutrition. What does it mean? I'm not eating enough to maintain all the vitamins that I need. So we need to supplement anybody that has the surgery or the lab band. We need to supplement with multivitamins every day for the rest of your life, okay? The weight loss is comparable to the gastric bypass, but not as strong as the gastric bypass. So that is the gastric bypass. What is the main difference between a gastric bypass and a gastric sleeve? Is that on the gastric bypass, we change the path of the food. So what we do is we divide the stomach in two pieces. A very little piece of the stomach that we like to call the pouch that is on the very top. I'm going to have to walk on this one. So this is the pouch right there, okay? So once we cut that piece of the stomach, when we separate that from the main stomach, the food is going to come into the pouch. But that pouch is blind, so we have to do something to allow the food to get out of the pouch to get into the intestine, right? So what we do is we take a piece of intestine and create a connection between the pouch and the intestine. And that is the new path of the food. When we do that, the food that you're eating is not getting into the big stomach, it's only getting to the little stomach, okay? And in that case, that's why we call it the gastric bypass, because the food is bypassing the stomach. The regular stomach will leave it inside your body. We don't take it out because it's still connected to the intestine and it still has all the ligaments. That stomach is going to continue to produce gastric juices, and the intestine is going to continue to produce digestive juices. So the juices that are produced by the stomach are going to come down this way. So we got to create a connection between the piece of intestine that we bring up to the pouch and the other piece of intestine that carries the digestive juices. And that's why they call it also the Roux-en-Y. So on one hand, you have the food coming down, and in the other hand, you have the digestive juices, and they mix at the bottom, okay? Again, in this one, we did change the path of the food, okay? We still give you a little stomach, we change the path of the food. It's a stronger surgery than the sleeve. If I have this surgery done and I need to lose 100 pounds, this surgery alone will help me get rid of between 70 and 75 pounds. Can I lose more? Yes. Everything depends on the habits that I develop and what I do after the surgery, okay? This surgery also carries the risk of malnutrition, meaning that we're going to have to take multivitamins, that we're going to have to take minerals. It's a more complex operation because we're creating two connections, okay? One connection at the bottom to join the two pieces of intestine, the one that carries the food and the one that carries the digestive juices, and we're creating a connection on top, creating, when we bring up the piece of intestine, to allow the food to get out of the pouch, okay? So this is the reason why I decided to do bariatric surgery. Bariatric surgery is not about making you lose weight. It's about making you healthier and giving you a much better lifestyle. There probably is a lot of things that you don't want to do or you can't do because of your weight, okay? A lot of people have to take multiple medications a day. Some people take enough medications that seems like you're taking a full meal of medications, right? And also the cost of those medications. Bariatric surgery has the ability to cure diseases, okay? Like we talk about diabetes, 8 out of 10 people are going to be cured overnight. I am diabetic today, I get a gastric bypass or a sleeve, and I am diabetes free tomorrow, okay? 7 out of 10 people sleep apnea, 7 out of 10 people with blood pressure problems, 6 out of 10 with cholesterol, 7 out of 10 with heartburn or reflux. That's mainly with the gastric bypass. On top of that, arthritis and asthma will get much better in the future, okay? So this is about giving you a better lifestyle. This is about making you healthier. And on top of that, you're gonna lose weight and feel much better, okay? So what is the best surgery? How do we choose who needs what surgery? That has been probably the main question that we've always had. It really does not matter what surgery you choose. What matters at the end is what you do with it, right? Surgery is a jump start tool. With surgery, you're gonna lose a lot of weight, you're gonna have the honeymoon period, and you're gonna feel much better. But whether you get to keep it off is dependent on what you do after the surgery, your ability to change, okay? Is the 3-leg stool theory, right? You have the surgery, you eat right, you exercise, you get to lose the weight, and you get to keep it off, okay? None of those will work without the other, all right? What do you need to do before surgery? You know, if you want to proceed with surgery. So everybody comes to see us in the office. We'll do a history and physical. We'll talk to you. You'll get a much more extended version of what we're talking today. Everybody's going to have a psychological evaluation. Everybody's going to have a nutritional evaluation. Everybody has to have an endoscopy. Do you all know what an endoscopy is? No? Do you all know what a colonoscopy is? All right. So endoscopy is the same thing, but from above, okay? Why do we need to do that? Because we want to make sure everything looks good. You know, we want to make sure that your stomach is ready for us to be able to cut the stomach or put stitches or different things, okay? Depending on what your health is, you may need to have other evaluations like a pulmonology or cardiology, depending on what's going on. And very important, everybody's going to have to do a liquid diet, okay? The liquid diet depends, usually it's between 2 to 3 weeks. Most people do it for 2 weeks. And the idea of the liquid diet is not to torture you, but the main purpose of it is to shrink the size of the liver. Like you were explaining a minute ago, to be able to do the surgery, we have to lift the liver because the stomach lives under it. If your liver is so big that we can see it, the risk of the surgery will increase. So by doing this diet, that makes your liver get smaller, and then the access to the stomach and the safety of the surgery gets much better. Okay? All right. Your motivation and commitment will dictate your success. What does it mean? Is that the effort that you put into changing your life, into following the instructions, is the amount of success that you're going to get. By far, the great majority of patients do great. By far, the great majority of patients do not regain the weight. I can guarantee the moment that you lose the weight and you feel much better, you're going to do whatever it takes not to regain it. Okay, you're going to enjoy exercising. Most of us enjoy exercising. There is no magic bullet involved in here. Bariatric surgery is about commitment of you to follow the instructions and our commitment to you to help you lose weight, right? What is your goal? Lose weight and be healthier, right? What is our goal? Make you lose weight and be healthier. So if we both work together, there's no reason why you're not going to be successful, right? So with bariatric surgery, we want to see you for the rest of your life, okay? It's about accountability. It's about you letting us know what you need and us providing for you what you need, okay? This is our practice. We have everything that you need. We're setting up a practice here in Dublin. We're in the early stages, but things are going incredibly well. We have dietitians, we have nutritionists, we have psychologists, we have a medical bariatrician. Up in Augusta, we have an office that has a gym, that has physical therapists, and has also personal trainers, okay? We are part of what we call a Center of Excellence, which is a designation that we get based on our outcomes and based on our how the patients do with us, okay?